Yeah, welcome back to Arise Exchange. The mystery surrounding $20 billion in missing oil money from Nigeria's coffers continues. Now the country's president-elect Muhammadu Buhari vows to launch a new investigation into where the funds went. Well, to give us the latest and the potential fallout is Jake Bright, Whitehead Fellow at the Foreign Policy Association. Jake, welcome to Rise Exchange.
Thanks for having me.
This is obviously a political hot potato in Nigeria. I guess the question is, $20 billion, it just doesn't vanish into thin air. Where do you think this money might have gone?
Well, you know, that's the big question. This is the political hot potato, and it's something that's been around for roughly a year now. It started when central bank governor Sanusi he never alleged corruption, but he brought papers to Parliament saying that in an audit there was $20 billion missing, and he was immediately fired by President Jonathan. And the thought was that it would be old-style politics and it would go away, and it hasn't gone away. So it keeps coming back. What happened then was after pressure, and there was some problems in the financial markets because Sanusi was very respected by global investors and bond traders. Jonathan was pressured to conduct an audit led by PricewaterhouseCoopers. That audit was delayed. It didn't come out. You thought, again, maybe this story will go away. It came back as an election issue, and now President-elect is vowing to launch a probe.
And perhaps, in a sense, it's a little front and center here. I guess the question is, we're talking about $20 billion. How does that affect the continent's strongest economy?
Well, this is kind of Nigeria's, in a way, as a singular case, it's a hot potato, but it's also kind of Nigeria's white elephant, right? The issue of oil corruption and missing oil money going through the state petroleum corporation, that's been something going on and talked about by Nigerians for years. But this case in particular, given that it was so public, given that it was brought in such a formal way by a very respected central bank governor, and given that it's such a huge amount, it's almost that the whole corruption issue of oil is almost embodied itself in this particular case. So the question is, what do you do with it? And with President-elect Buhari, how much do you peel the onion?
Well, I guess that is the question. And, of course, with Buhari, you have a new sheriff in town, as it were. The question is, he's trying, so it seems, to see if he can recover this money. How successful do you think he'll be?
I don't know. I think he's got a big question on his hands. The one question is obviously political. You want some accountability, which means I think most people suspect impropriety. There's always been suspicion, and it's been hard to prove, but Nigerian media and outside media is starting to uncover more things. The question is, if you can prove it, who goes down with it, and how much do you want to do, and how much will this filter up into Jonathan's government, and will it interrupt this historic solidarity that's going on in this presidential transition? Well,
there's a lot at stake here, and I'm glad that you bring that up. And front and center, perhaps maybe former President Goodluck Jonathan. One might think, with this much money involved, criminality charges could be into play here. Your thoughts?
You know, you don't know what to expect in Nigeria. Maybe you'd never think that something like that would happen, but a lot of people, most of the pundits never thought that Nigeria would have the election it just did, where you had historically a sitting president concede to an opposition president or candidate that was elected. So you just don't know. The one thing that seems constant in this, though, is that it's not being tucked under the rug. It keeps coming back. It seems to be something that was made a priority by Nigerian citizens in the election. A lot of people will tell you informally that there were two big issues for people of why they were upset with Jonathan. Number one, obviously, was inaction on the missing girls in Chibok. But number two was this $20 billion Sanusi whistleblower crisis, and the fact that the way it was handled, the way that there was non-accountability, and the way that it's such a massive number and there's still no answers around it.
Well, I got to tell you, they have a big magnifying glass on that, as we did in our graphics here. And of course, we'll be hearing more on the story, and perhaps we'll be seeing more of you to talk about the upcoming unfolding events. Jake Bright, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot.